Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're so glad you're here. Before we dive into today's important topic, take a second to drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. We love seeing how far our community reaches. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss tomorrow's special video. We've got something truly meaningful coming your way. Let's grow, learn, and live better together. Now, let's jump right in. These 5 habits are slowly ruining your retirement. 1. Ignoring physical health. One of the most common and harmful mistakes people make as they grow older is ignoring their physical health. It often begins subtly. Maybe you skip a morning walk once or twice, reach for fast food instead of cooking a balanced meal, or brush off that nagging ache in your knee. At first, these habits don't seem like a big deal, but over time, they add up, and the results can be serious. Many people assume that feeling tired, weak, or stiff is just a normal part of aging. But that's only partially true. In reality, a large portion of physical decline isn't caused by age, it's caused by inactivity, poor nutrition, and ignoring early signs that your body needs attention. Staying active is one of the most important things you can do for your health, no matter your age. The less you move, the harder it becomes to move. Tasks that were once simple, like climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, or reaching for something on a high shelf, can become difficult or even dangerous. Weak muscles can lead to poor balance, and poor balance increases the risk of falls, which are one of the leading causes of serious injury in older adults. Take Henry, for example. At 74, he considered himself healthy. But when he stopped going for his daily walks, he noticed his legs began to ache when standing for long periods. Months later, even short walks left him exhausted. He spent nearly a year trying to rebuild his strength, and he often regretted letting himself slow down. Nutrition is just as important. Many seniors think they can eat less and not worry about it. But as the body ages, it actually needs more protein for muscle health, calcium for strong bones, and fiber for good digestion. Too many processed snacks, skipped meals, or sugary drinks can lead to serious health problems like diabetes, fatigue, or a weakened immune system. Lastly, avoiding regular checkups is a silent mistake with huge consequences. High blood pressure, early signs of diabetes, or bone loss often have no symptoms at all. By the time you feel something's wrong, it might already be too late. The good news? It's never too late to make small changes that protect your health and your independence. 2. Withdrawing from friends and family. After ignoring physical health, the next silent threat to a fulfilling life in old age is withdrawing from social connections. These two mistakes often go hand in hand. When people stop moving, stop going outside, or start feeling physically weaker, they also tend to isolate themselves. What begins as skipping a lunch with friends or avoiding a family event because of low energy can snowball into weeks or even months of silence. The longer this continues, the harder it becomes to reconnect, and the more damage it does to your emotional and mental well-being. Humans are wired for connection. Without regular conversations, shared laughter, and a sense of belonging, our minds begin to slow down, our mood darkens, and life starts to feel empty. In fact, studies have shown that loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, weakens the immune system, and accelerates cognitive decline. Take Dorothy, for example. At 76, she gradually stopped calling her friends. She told herself they were probably too busy, or maybe they had moved on. Weeks turned into months. Her days became a routine of silence, just her and the TV. She felt tired all the time, couldn't focus on books like she used to, and eventually lost interest in the things she once loved. But everything changed when she picked up the phone and called an old friend. That single conversation sparked something in her. She joined a local book club, started inviting her grandchildren over, and found herself laughing again. Her memory improved, her energy came back, and she felt alive. Many seniors rely solely on family for connection, but that can lead to disappointment. Loved ones have jobs, kids, and busy schedules. That's why it's so important to build a wider support network. Friends, neighbors, church groups, or community clubs. And don't let technology scare you. Even learning to send a voice message or make a video call can bridge the gap when meeting in person isn't possible. Staying socially connected isn't just about company. It's about preserving your mind, protecting your happiness, and giving your life meaning. After all, what good is a healthy body if the heart and mind feel alone? Don't let silence become your new normal. Reach out. Someone is waiting to hear from you. 3. Refusing to adapt to change. After someone begins to withdraw socially, another mistake often follows: refusing to adapt to change. When you're no longer surrounded by friends, conversations, or the buzz of daily life, it's easy to get stuck in your ways. And while comfort and routine isn't a bad thing, clinging too tightly to the past can leave you isolated, frustrated, and disconnected from the world around you. Dorothy, for instance, after reconnecting with old friends, still struggled with one big hurdle: technology. Her grandkids invited her to join video calls, send photos, and even text funny updates. But Dorothy would shake her head and say, "I'm too old for all that." As a result, she missed birthdays, family jokes, and moments she could have easily shared if she had just opened herself up to learning something new. Eventually, after some encouragement, she took a free tech class at the community center. It was awkward at first, but she kept showing up. 2 weeks later, she was video calling her sister and laughing at memes her grandson sent. That one decision, to adapt, changed everything. Refusing to change isn't just about avoiding smartphones or social media. It shows up in small daily decisions: rejecting new medical advice because it sounds different, refusing to change your diet even when it affects your health, or dismissing safer ways to do things at home. The phrase, "this is how I've always done it," might feel comforting, but it can quietly hold you back from living a better, easier life. The world moves fast, and resisting that motion doesn't stop it. It just leaves you behind. Worse, it can create distance between you and the people you love. Younger generations speak differently, live differently, and often expect some level of digital connection. If you're unwilling to meet them halfway, that gap only grows wider. But here's the good news: change doesn't mean losing who you are. It means evolving so you can stay connected, capable, and confident. Adapting is a sign of strength, not weakness. Just like rebuilding your health or reaching out to a friend, being open to change could be the turning point that brings joy, freedom, and new experiences back into your life. 4. Mismanaging finances. Once someone resists change, especially in how the world now handles technology and communication, it often leads to another costly mistake: mismanaging finances. Refusing to adapt can mean avoiding online banking, ignoring rising living expenses, or failing to protect yourself from modern day scams. And unfortunately, these financial mistakes can quickly turn a peaceful retirement into years of stress, dependence, and regret. Take Richard, for example. At 72, he had always been proud of his savings. He believed he had more than enough to enjoy retirement, travel a little, spoil the grandkids, eat out whenever he liked. But Richard didn't track his spending. He never updated his budget or factored in inflation, healthcare, or the possibility of long-term care. He refused to switch to online tools or meet with a financial advisor because he thought it was all too complicated. Years later, medical bills started piling up, his savings began to shrink, and he realized, too late, that he hadn't planned as well as he thought. The truth is, financial independence doesn't end when you retire. It requires ongoing effort. It's not just about how much money you have, but how wisely you manage it. That means being realistic about what things cost, avoiding impulse spending, and protecting yourself from fraud. Seniors are one of the top targets for scams because many grew up in a more trusting time. And if you're not willing to learn how digital banking and modern communication work, you're more vulnerable than ever. There's also an emotional side to this. Many seniors want to be generous, to treat family, help their kids, or donate to causes. And that's a beautiful thing. But if you're not careful, your generosity can leave you with very little for yourself. Creating a budget that allows for giving while still protecting your future is essential. If adapting to technology helps you stay connected emotionally, it can also help you stay secure financially. There are tools to track spending, flag suspicious activity, and even set up automatic savings. Don't let fear of change stop you from taking control of your money. Just like maintaining your health or embracing social connection, managing your finances is part of protecting your freedom and your dignity. It's never too late to make smarter decisions and secure the future you deserve. Top 5. Giving up on mental growth and purpose. After struggling with financial stress, many older adults unknowingly slip into another dangerous pattern, giving up on mental growth and losing their sense of purpose. When bills pile up, savings shrink, and independence feels threatened, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You start cutting back on hobbies, avoiding social events, and telling yourself, what's the point? But here's the truth. The moment you stop challenging your mind and feeding your spirit, your quality of life begins to fade. Richard, who once traveled freely and enjoyed life, began staying home more to save money. He canceled his book club, stopped going to church, and spent most of his days watching TV. He told himself it was just temporary, but days turned into months. His thinking slowed, his memory slipped, and he started feeling invisible. It wasn't just the money, it was the loss of meaning. He didn't realize how much his sense of purpose had kept him mentally sharp and emotionally alive. Too many seniors fall into the trap of believing that retirement means the end of learning, creating, or contributing. But the human brain doesn't have an expiration date. In fact, studies show that continued learning, whether through reading, puzzles, hobbies, or taking up something completely new, can actually slow cognitive decline. More importantly, it brings joy. Linda, age 79, is a perfect example. After losing her husband, she felt empty and adrift. But instead of shutting down, she signed up for a beginner's painting class. She had never held a paintbrush in her life, but the act of trying something new sparked something inside her. She made friends, discovered hidden talent, and found herself waking up excited for the first time in years. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It could be mentoring a young person, growing a garden, volunteering, or finally writing that story you've carried in your heart for decades. The key is to stay curious and keep reaching forward. Just like managing your health, relationships, and finances, keeping your mind active is essential. When you have something to look forward to, something that lights you up inside, it strengthens your body, your brain, and your soul. No matter your age, your story isn't over. Keep writing it. Keep living it. We'd love to hear from you because your voice matters. Now that you've heard the 5 biggest mistakes that can quietly ruin our later years, take a moment to reflect. Which one of these stood out to you the most? Have you or someone you love experienced any of these challenges firsthand? Maybe you've overcome one and have advice that could help someone else. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts, your story, or even just one small change you plan to make starting today. This community is built on honesty, support, and growth. And your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to read. Whether you're watching from home, work, or somewhere in between, we want to know, where are you tuning in from? Let us know your city or country down below. And if this video inspired you in any way, don't forget to like it and share it with a friend who might benefit from it too. Together, we can create a space where aging isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace with strength, purpose, and connection. So go ahead, scroll down, and be part of the conversation. We're listening.